Hey guys, it's Sandra from Inspired Keys, and in today's video I will be teaching about how you can build up or work your way up to the climax of a song when you play worship keys. Particularly if you play piano, but it's not specifically for piano alone. But before I go into the teaching, do hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and also turn on the notification by hitting the bell button next to the subscribe button so that when I post a new video or when I go live, you get notified and you can join in the fun. Also, whatever I play is recorded on my laptop and you can see exactly what notes I play. Also, you can see the chords that are notated in a treble and bass clef. So if you want to see that, if you're an eye musician and you want to access that, and also if you want to access the handouts to today's teaching, it's all available inside the Inspired Keys Academy. And to check that out, you just need to go to inspiredkeys.com/join. Now let's get on with how to build up to the climax of a song on worship keys. First, I do recommend that you check out another video, and the link is below, that I have done called How to Play in Sync with the Drummer on worship piano, because that way you know how to play in line with what the drums are playing, and then you can create a really cohesive and in sync kind of united way, and it's just going to sound a whole lot better if you can hear and imitate the drum line. Also, I want you to understand that the reason why it's important to play and build up to the climax of a song, because when we play on the piano, for example, the piano is a percussive instrument, since the mechanism of a piano sound is where the hammer hits the strings of the piano. So when you build up to the song correctly using a very percussive sounding instrument, it altogether adds a lot of rhythmic and emotional excitement. So here are some tips on exactly how you could do that. So whenever you build up, I would probably classify it between a mild build up and a strong build up, because usually you don't like sort of go from a 0 to 100. You would like to go and climb up to around the 50s, and then when the 50s kind of climb up to about 80 or 90 and 100, then you get up to the true climax. So I'll first talk about the mild build up. Usually when I feel like the music's starting to build, and this would be usually around like the verse 2 or the chorus or the pre-chorus 2 or the chorus 2 areas where the song's repeating and you're hearing it for the second time, I would like to increase the rhythmic intensity of the inner line of the music. And when I say inner line, I do mean sort of like the middle registers of the piano. So I will start to add some sort of figurations in the middle of that range. I will not play anything too high in the pitch range, nor something too low. I'll hit the middle registers, and I'll play something that's sort of an increasing rhythmic intensity. So if I were to previously play a lot of like chord, 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 I might play an idea that goes note, 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 or dum 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 dum. I might even go up to the 16th, da 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 da. Something sort of like an inner layer, undercurrent kind of building up sense, so that your music's kind of like getting somewhere. And then when you get to the final, like the strong build up, where it's sort of like a really, really loud crash at the end and you're really heading up to a really big climax, this would be sort of the bridge. Usually the bridge area is where the song gets to the 3/4 mark. At the 3/4 mark of a song is usually where the biggest climax takes place. So the end of a bridge leading onto the final chorus, or perhaps the final chorus leading into the final last line, that sort of climax. Some songs are like that. That's where I will increase the rhythmic intensity as well as even the pitch. Like I'll start going higher in pitch and even lower in pitch on my left hand. And even when it comes to pitch, I will even double some of the pitches to create a thicker texture, and then I will just sort of enhance the grandiosity of everything so that it just sounds a lot more dramatic. So I'm going to give some examples on how I build up. So here is an example of Hillsong's In Control, and I'm going to play the bridge area and demonstrate how I decide how to build up. we've heard the bridge quite a few times here, and what I want you to realize is we've got actually gone from sort of level 1, which is nice and quiet, to level 2, where it's building up. I will call that the mild build up, and then the strong build up happens at the very third time you hear the bridge. So for all of those sections, the first section I probably wouldn't play very much. The second and the third is where I will vary, and here is also something that I want to spell out to you guys before I play. Now there is a riff that goes da 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 da. So I'm going to not do that part so that I can demonstrate what else I could do with the piano, because I know it's a bit restricting that the pianist or the synth player has to play that da 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 riff. But if I were not to play that, then there are some other things you can do. So let's go a little bit before that and try. Right, so I just want to demonstrate what it was that I was doing. So when I talked about playing the middle line and the sort of mild build up, I was playing around with this sort of like slightly below middle C kind of a pitch range, where I went like so there is this riff that I sort of created on the spot where it's so there was just sort of like an undercurrent building, and this is something that I want you to try if you've never tried it before, guys. It really creates a very cool kind of like, we're getting somewhere but we're not quite there yet. And then when the music actually builds up to a strong kind of real, getting up to the real climax, I brought my intense rhythm idea upwards into the higher pitch range, and my left hand also went in more intense. So instead of just to play a little bit more, but that's also because the bass drum started playing a little bit more, and I was listening to that and trying to jive with that. So then the high section, the third bridge, was where I went. Though, because you want to hear exactly where the punches are. So for this part of the music, I feel like it's still not quite a pa 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 pa. It's more like a pa pa pa. And so because of that, that's why I'm not doing right. That there are some songs where you will need to do that, and there are some songs that you even need to do something like you hear, like, I'll probably play that if like the snare was going taka 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 taka, where it's like a whole lot more intense, but I felt like the drummer wasn't really doing that, and that's why I didn't go there. So guys, I don't want you to just sort of follow a blind formula and go, oh, every time I build up I have to do this. You have to listen to what's going on and use your own discretion about whether it fits the song. I'm going to go into the second song, which is Spirit Move by Bethel Worship, and I'm going to demonstrate the bridge section. B flat major. Nothing much happening. So I want you to hear that I was also doing the mild build up where it was sort of in the middle. I was kind of going so you do want to build up according to what the band is playing. So as I'm playing, I'm also listening, and then as I hear, oh great, this is the section where we're doing this, and then I go into that groove depending on what I hear. So do make it a habit to listen to what's going on and then imitating it. So the next example, which is the last one, is Extravagant by Bethel Worship. Also a very exciting build up during the bridge section. F sharp major. So once again, this is a very interesting one because it kind of grew quite gradually. At the very beginning, it didn't really do very much, but there was like a tap, 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 tum, a tap, 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 tum. And you can listen to that. That's happening at the snare drum. So you want to hear like, you want to play something that punctuates with that. So... onto the 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and when you hear that, that's when you want to punctuate with that new kind of a groove as well. So I really hope that this was helpful, insightful, enlightening to you. If you feel like, hey, I have Inspired Keys Academy member Rachel telling me, why do I feel like I'm always just banging whenever I build up? So you want to just take a moment, don't play, listen to the recording first and just hear what the drums are doing, and then try to imitate it. So if it means you have to sort of practice in little sections of 5-second bits, so just press play and listen for 5 seconds and go like, okay, what's the drummer doing and what shall I do during those 5 seconds? Typically a groove lasts in the same way for a certain section, sort of like this bridge 1 does it this way, but bridge 2 has a very distinct groove, and the bridge 3 goes on to something very different as well. So that's when you want to just keep changing according to what you hear. I really, really hope this helped, guys. Remember that the specific view video where you can see exactly what notes I play and also what chords I used, everything being notated on treble and bass, clef staves, on music staves, they're all there. And you can also access the handout. That's all available inside the Inspired Keys Academy, alongside many other things to help you grow as a worship keyboardist. And to check that out, just head over to inspiredkeys.com/join. Also comment below to let me know what you'd like to learn on worship keys next. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!